All right, one of the things you should take away from looking at the problems that cities like Pittsburgh or Flint or whatever are having is that the underlying components to that issue right now are also in every other city in the U.S. I mean, really, every city is now dealing with a disconnect between the money they bring in and the money they're spending, right? There's a deficit there. The cutting corners, getting rid of positions, doing more with less, trying to cut costs. That's consistent across the board for everybody. And so while Pittsburgh and Flint may be further down the road, we're all on the same path. And the other thing to realize is that just because you may be in a newer home in a newer part of the city, that doesn't mean that your water is safe. Right now, lead is getting the attention, but it's because we're decades beyond when it was introduced to the water. And you can see the same thing happening now by looking at your local water report. Every municipality has to do a annual kind of measurement and monitoring of certain contaminants. And you'll see there's a bunch of contaminants or toxins that are being measured right now that don't have a federal category to compare it to. So we're not sure yet what's considered safe and what's not safe. We're monitoring it, and the levels that we're monitoring will probably play into what those categories end up being. But for right now, we don't know whether it's okay or not. So as much as we want to look back on the old times and say, how can you guys use lead pipes? What are you, crazy? Well, we're doing the same thing right now. There are things in your water that we don't know whether they're okay or not, but they're in there. And it really makes you, look at this in a little different light. That's why I said these problems have been around for a long time, but right now we have a kind of a unique opportunity to spotlight them and maybe force some beneficial change out of this. So if you're in that situation where you want to make some change, you want to do some things to protect you or your family, the situation that you're in, we've got some options, and we'll cover those now. All right, so let's talk about some solutions now. There's a wide variety of options available when it comes to water filtration. And so let's just go from basically the low end, low capable or less capable systems, all the way up through the high end, most capable systems. And I'll give you some pros and cons to each one. The first place to start is with a refrigerator filter that's built into the fridge, maybe a pitcher style, or one that would attach to the end of a faucet, like I think Pure is the brand that has most of those. What you'll find there is usually it's a carbon-based filter. It's really going to be targeting chlorine especially, but some taste and some odors as well. Some may mix in a little bit of ion exchange resin to take care of some heavy metals and whatnot. But for the most part, they're pretty limited on what they can remove from your water. The other limitation is that they don't last for very long. I mean, the filters are only this big, and so thinking you're going to put a little bitty filter in and get a lot of water out and have it last for a long time and it's going to be clean and pure is just not true. Water filtration capability or technology is still somewhat size dependent, as opposed to electronic technology, which is doing more with smaller and smaller components. The filtration technology is not to that level yet. So you're going to be limited, but it will be a step up from just drinking it straight out of the tap. And one thing to mention here as well is that there are some new styles coming out that are targeting specifically towards lead because it's becoming more and more of a problem. And those things will do better. They're going to use a little bit higher level of ion exchange resin in there, replace the heavy metals with some salts. And so it will do a pretty good job, but you'll still be limited on length of time it works and how much water you can create, especially if you have maybe more than 3 or 4 people drinking from it. That can be kind of inconvenient. So if you want more water faster with a greater range of contaminant removal, you go to the next step, and that's more of a countertop system that'll connect to the faucet and just feed over to the side. Or you take a system and put it underneath your sink and have a dedicated faucet mounted there as well that just drinks the filtered water, and then you use your main faucet for washing dishes or whatever. These systems are going to give you a spectrum. You can start with just a low-end carbon and just do what the Brita does for a longer amount of time and in greater volumes. Or you can go all the way up to like a ceramic style cartridge that does a huge range of toxin removals. It gets into the chemical stuff as well as the heavy metals or even the pharmaceuticals. And so you can take care of, pesticides and agricultural runoff as well as pharmaceutical stuff, and then just chemical additives like fluoride and chloramines and that kind of stuff. So the ceramics can take care of all of that. The challenge with these is that there is some maintenance involved. They need to be scrubbed every couple of months to stay in good working condition. But if you can get past that, they do offer you a pretty good blend of removal while also leaving the good stuff in your water. So the calciums, the magnesiums, the things that we want to maintain, because water, a healthy water is not just about being clean, it's about having a good mineral concentration in there as well. And the ceramics will do both. And then the next step up would be a reverse osmosis system or distillation. Both of these are non-discriminatory in what they remove. They take everything out. Distillation, just a few percentage points better than an RO system. But functionally, they're going to give you a very pure water, but void of all minerals as well. And so you need to look then at options where you can put a remineralization aspect back into that water to put some of those calciums and magnesiums and things back in after you've removed it all on the front end. But that's really the top end of filtration capability for a home. They're going to be more expensive, they're going to be more complicated, have a larger installation aspect to those, more maintenance involved, just more upkeep, which you would expect from a more capable and complex system. But that's pretty much it. If you just need to start with something low end to make the budget work, but you want to take care of some of these major problems or maybe the easier toxins to remove, start with a pitcher. If you have a little bit more latitude, you need more water quicker, move it up to a countertop system or under sink with a ceramic cartridge. And if you just want to take everything out and be done with it, well, then you can go with RO or distillation. Just be careful and don't forget to put the minerals back in. That's pretty much the spectrum available and where we find ourselves today. Well, we hope this video has helped a little bit, at least give you some background understanding as to why we have the problem now or why it's getting the attention now, and some options for some solutions in your life as well. We cannot stress enough how this problem is not going to go away anytime soon. The scope, the size, the financial requirements needed to fix these communities and the things that we've let go for decades now is enormous. And it's going to be really hard for municipalities and communities to come together and have enough capital in place to deal with these issues. So it's going to be on us as individuals to protect ourselves, protect our loved ones, and just kind of manage things as best we can in our homes and in our lives, and not rely on other people to do that for us. So if we can help in any way, that's why we're here. You can contact us. Our information will be down below, or you can just leave a comment on the video here as well, and we'll help out with whatever you need. If you just want some recommendations, some guidance, not quite sure how to read material or what your water report says, whatever. We're here to help. We're happy to do so, and we hope this video has helped you. So with that said, it's done. We'll talk to you soon.